There's an old joke that 40 years of transportation economics at Harvard can be boiled down to 4 words: bus good, train bad. And there are a number of reasons for this. I think the most important one that's customarily given is just the differences in cost. Trains are incredibly expensive, especially in terms of the fixed cost of building the rails, of assembling the stations. It's just an extraordinarily expensive undertaking. The second reason for it is that there's not all that much you can do with a bus that you can't do, you can do with a train that you can't do with a bus in a dedicated lane or a dedicated tunnel. Right? A bus on its own space can run at a very fast pace, just like a train can. And at this point in time, there's not even any real environmental advantage of trains, as you can power buses perfectly well by electricity. But a third benefit of buses over trains is flexibility. The fact that you can continually adjust trains to where, you continually adjust buses, but not trains, to areas where there's more demand. You can figure out over time which are the areas that have the largest demand and then adjust accordingly. It's probably also even more flexible to adjust the insides of the bus, to continually upgrade the quality of the bus, whereas train systems, even in terms of the way that the insides work, the air conditioning, having, for example, screens on the walls to continually broadcast images, those are also somewhat easier to adjust in buses. But I think the final point about the relative advantages of buses lies in the area of experimentation. One of the primary themes that we've made throughout today is that great cities in the 21st century are going to be cities that constantly experiment, that don't think that they know the public policy answers, but that are going to try out new things and see what works and then try new things. And it's eventually going to be through that constant experimentation, evaluation process that cities are going to really be improved. Now, you can do that with buses. You can continually try, innovate, evaluate, and work forward. You can't with trains. Trains are one big monumental bet, and if it doesn't work, you're stuck with the infrastructure for 100 years, right? And we know too many cases in the US and elsewhere in which, because of vast amounts of federal financing, huge rail systems have been built that haven't come close to covering their costs or making any impact on urban form. I would just hate for the mistakes that America made to be reproduced here in São Paulo.